Get the f*** out of here! Go home! We don't want you here. We don't like your kind here. We only like people in blue cars around here. One more. Don't honk at me. Don't honk at me, asshole. The gate is open. Time to go through. Are you ready for what's on the other side?
Nope. Oh, God dang it.
You know, this is one I don't really think I've ever had to deal with anything like this in terms of this subreddit. You know, the entitled parents. You ever heard of this subreddit?
I've heard of it.
Basically, the whole thing is just like, I birthed you onto this planet, therefore you owe me everything. Yeah, my parents have never been like that, so I can't really relate to this subreddit. My dad's always been a very kind of like straightforward kind of person. It's just like, if you're working on a day for me, I'll pay you. And my mom's always been like, if you just don't make stupid decisions, then you'll be fine. Basically, that's all my parents have ever taught to me, is just like, you know, make good decisions, you know, graduate high school, you know, don't, you know, if you're gonna do drugs, don't, like...
If you're gonna do drugs.
No, really. Here's the thing. It's the same thing. Okay, my mom had to talk with me about drugs basically the same way my dad had, like, the sex talk with me. My dad literally looked at me and says, son, I ain't gonna sit here and tell you not to do it, because you're gonna do it anyway. Trust me. I've been in your shoes. But if you do it, and if you get a girl pregnant, and you ain't there for her, trust me, the last thing you gonna have to worry, like,
he's
the first...
gonna beat your ass.
Yeah, basically, he's like, the first and last thing on your mind's gonna have to be how you're gonna remove my foot from your ass. And I'm like, you ain't gotta worry about that, Dad. I ain't gonna do anything like that. He's like, we'll see.
I'll be like, what if she doesn't let me be there for her?
Like, and I guarantee you, my dad would probably just be like, then that's her stupid decision.
What kills me is that some women get with guys just to do that, and then collect this child support money.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, they would rather do that because they can get more from child support.
But they don't use it for the kids.
No,
they
I know.
use it for themselves.
Exactly, because the
which is really shitty.
And here's the beautiful
Parenting.
thing. Do you want to know the biggest hustle when it comes to child support? You know who gets a good hefty chunk of that money?
The government.
Exactly. So no wonder the government keeps, you know, giving child support to these people, because they get a chunk of it. Doesn't matter if it's used for the kid or not. That's always been the hustle. So before anyone out there thinks about, like, oh, I pay my child support and this and that, so everything should be getting up. Government's always going to want to get more from you. Always.
Yep.
Oh, and then, but my mom basically had the conversation with me about drugs. She basically said, Nate, I don't even need to have this conversation with you about something. You've smoked weed before, haven't you? And I'm like, what are you Nate? I'm like, yeah, I did. Well, I was 16 when she had this.
My parents didn't even know
until
like way later.
I was 16 when my mom had this conversation with me. I'd smoked weed back when I was like 13, 14.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah, I was young.
I was like 20 something.
So. Well, I didn't smoke it for a long time afterwards. But, yeah, I was about 13 or 14. I was hanging out with my friends, Daniel and Jesse, and some very bad things happened, which I don't want to get into. But, needless to say, I stopped for a while after that, and then basically, you know, I got caught drinking, and then also there was weed at a party that I was at. So Mom asked me, she's like, Nate, have you smoked weed before? I'm like, yeah, I have. And then she's like, okay, so here's what I'll tell you. Like, I don't mind you, like, having fun, you know, getting drunk and all this and all that, but you need to stay in school. And if this starts affecting your schoolwork, then you're not allowed to be able to go out anymore, all right?
Uh-huh.
And that was that. Basically, I didn't have to worry about that anymore. And didn't really start affecting my schoolwork until I got into college, which there was a lot of stuff going on that affected me in college. So,
They're gonna get you.
Also, statute of limitations is up on this, but I did run some drugs from Washington D.C. to this area for a friend of mine.
Yeah, statute of limitations is up. I've sold product to people before.
Yeah,
What is a statue? What are you doing?
statute of limitations
It's been
is
long enough that
basically
they can't prosecute us for it.
exactly. Yes,
Okay,
that's statute of limitations. But also, I got paid
needed extra money at a
$500.
point. I knew somebody who grew this stuff, and I knew somebody else who knew everyone in the Kingsport area that smoked this stuff.
Yeah,
so.
and I knew someone who needed a supply of stuff, and they asked me, "Hey, if I pay you $500, will you drive up to Washington D.C., get this stuff, and bring it back here?" Because my plates were clean, I had a decent car that could get good gas mileage, and I'd driven to Washington D.C. before, so I knew how to get there. So I did it. I drove to Washington D.C., got the stuff, and drove straight back, all in one day. And I got $500 for it, so I was good. I was happy about that.
Guess
But-
what I did?
What did you did?
I got free weed off the subway in New York.
Hey,
From some random person that we met.
very nice.
Yep.
Very nice. Hey, sometimes that's the good stuff.
Yeah, like they always talk about, like, don't ever accept free drugs from people, but nobody ever gives away drugs for free. So
And when they
you
do,
got
it's
really
just
lucky.
And when they do, it's just like, okay,
This
what's the
person
catch?
was like super chill. Like they legit talked to us like the entire subway ride.
And they were just
from
like at the end,
Manhattan to Brooklyn.
they were just like
So,
basically at the end, be like, hey, bro, there you go.
it was, like by the end of it, like we had exchanged like Facebook stuff. So
Hell yeah. Well, you made a friend. You made
Yeah.
a friend on a New York subway. It's more than I can say. Anyway, entitled parents, but I'm allergic. And yeah, I don't know where this is going to go, but let's see what happens.
Child, I have the right to poison you. I'm
What?
allergic to fish and seafood. It's not the anaphylactic type of allergy, thank goodness, so I'm not going to die if I eat some, but I do throw up. I have a stomach ache and a massive headache for a few hours. Enough fish and or seafood and I break out in small red hives all over my arms. My mother didn't believe it, and as a child, I couldn't stand up to her properly. She'd force me to eat stuff with seafood or fish in it to prove I wasn't allergic, then ignore me as I was sick. One day, she held a dinner party. I was dressed up beautifully and trotted out to parade before the guests. At the time, I was around about 9, precocious for my age and absolutely fed up with my mother making me sick. When she held out a fish cutlet, fish cooked with vegetables rolled into a ball, covered in batter and fried for me to eat, I saw my chance. Me, loudly, I can't eat that. I'm allergic to fish. Mother, no you're not. Eat it. I am allergic. I'll throw it up. No Asian mother will back down in front of guests for fear of looking like she can't discipline her child. My mother grabbed the fish cutlet, shoved it into my mouth, and said in her most firm voice of command, eat. So I ate it. Cut to about 10 minutes later. I go up to my mother and tug on her, is it a sorry? To get her attention. Me, I don't feel well, and you know the rest. I vomited on her, on the expensive carpet and in full view of all the guests. My mother has a reputation for being a kind, generous, charitable, and very religious woman. So in front of all the guests, she couldn't do anything except act sympathetic and send me off to bed to recover. She never made me eat fish or seafood again.
Nice.
she got what she deserved.
Yeah.
Hate to say it, but she told you so. She told you that she was allergic, but you didn't want to listen.
It sucks that that's what you had to do to get her to stop being an incredibly irresponsible and dangerous parent.
Yes.
She got what was coming to her. I don't understand why people can't wrap their head around others having allergies. Well, she did learn her lesson, I hope. I'm lactose intolerant. My grandma refused to believe it was a real condition and forced me to drink milk as a kid. I'd get horrible stomach aches, lots of gas, etc. She'd then blame whatever she thought was causing it. Candy, computer games,
Computer game.
Computer game. Yeah, I love eating those computer games that give me gas. It's just like it's like look, me, I'll admit, you know, me sitting in front of my computer all day, that kind of makes my back hurt a little bit. But my stomach and making me have gas?
My mom never tried
Brother.
to blame my stomach on computer games, but she did try to blame a lot of other problems on computer games that had nothing to do with them, or video games, you know? She'd be like, the reason you don't sleep good is because you play those video games. And I'd be like, what? It's like, I guess I stay up later to play them sometimes, but like, no. Like, she's like, you playing those, they're full of action and stuff, so you stay up later.
That's, okay. That's sort of kind of true, but at the same time, not on the level that she's wanting to pretend that it's, like, yeah. But you were saying, Kate?
I lost my train of thought, sorry.
It derailed?
Yeah.
Sorry. So, yeah, I'm allergic to onions. And now, onion powder doesn't bother me, but, like, actual onions, like juice from onions, that kills my stomach. And really bad. And I hated it because whenever my grandparents made green beans, they would always dice up on the onion and put it in there for a little bit of flavor. And I used to love green beans. Used to. I don't anymore. I used to eat green beans like crazy back when I was a kid. I remember that.
Why not just eat them without onion?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like a thing now. It's like it's like a brain association. It's like sauce on pizza nowadays.
Oh yeah.
It's
okay.
I'm weird, okay? I can't help myself. I'm a weird kind of dude. And every time I tell people about me eating pizza without sauce, they're like, "What?" And every time
I like veggie pizza. And
There's nothing
he
wrong
likes
with that.
Alfredo pizza with feta and mushrooms.
and
like,
meatballs sometimes. Yeah.
We all have different pizza orders.
Or Italian sausage, rather. Sorry.
The only time I get regular sauce on my pizza is when I don't have a choice at Little Caesars, but I always get a different kind of pizza sauce because, like, the Alfredo or the garlic parmesan is just tastier than regular pizza sauce. So it's understandable you don't get sauce. I still maintain you should try the garlic parm sometime, though.
Well, fair
It's
enough.
good as hell.
That does sound really good.
You could just have a piece of mine
especially
sometime if you don't
considering-
want to order a whole one.
Maybe we'll do
Is there a
that.
place that's open that serves that right now?
Probably not.
Not really. The Hut closed at 11,
What about Domino's?
Domino's closes in 25 minutes.
and usually if you place orders within like the last 30 minutes, half the time they cancel.
Poo.
I know, sorry. But, oh yeah, lactose intolerant, but, bones growing properly. Here's the thing, that's a big myth perpetuated by a lot of phony studies about milk making strong bones. That's actually not true.
No.
Milk is important for babies a lot of times because it has the essential nutrients needed to help your body grow whenever it's super tiny. But whenever your body is like fully grown and is able to keep up and stuff like that, then you don't need milk as much anymore. They've actually done studies. It's just like some cultures have never had milk in their diet and thus don't need milk at all. And there are some cultures that are very dairy heavy. And even then, after a while, most people don't, it's not recommended that you drink milk after a certain age. And it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, and just keep repeating how I have to drink it so my bones grow properly. It's like there weren't any other ways to get calcium than an overdose of milk. Remember Got Milk? Isn't
Yeah.
the scientific backing for that, like, incredibly lacking or something? Like,
It's
the whole
bullshit.
milk campaign was just big milk?
Yeah, it was dairy farmers in California basically wanted to make an ad campaign, and this was brilliant. It was very brilliant. But at the same time, it was like, huh. Also, how 90s is this? Jonathan
Yeah.
Taylor Thomas, Lisa Kudrow, Jennifer Aniston, a little fairy princess, and Britney fucking Spears.
Little fairy prince. Who was that kid?
I don't know. I don't know who she is. Like,
Is she a toddler in tiara?
It might have been younger Britney Spears or something.
maybe, I don't know.
It says grow up on it, so.
Oh, yeah.
It might be young Britney Spears, but I don't know.
Trying to get you to buy more milk? I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, but that would make sense. I find it baffling that she had a reputation for being kind if she literally forced an allergen into her child's mouth in front of company. There's some serious cognitive dissonance there. You will date my daughter or I'll get you fired. Wait, what? So for some context, I'm a 17-year-old male and I work at a Segway tour company. It's actually really fun. I get to ride Segways around the city and talk to people, and get paid to do it. Plus, the tipping isn't bad. So anyway, there was a tour booked a couple of days ago, and I came in about 20 minutes early to answer emails and get everything ready. The group shows up, mother and daughter, and that's when things get interesting. I'm not going to insult your intelligence by telling you what EP and ME stand for, but D equals daughter and FBI equals Federal Bureau of Investigation, just for some useful info. EP and D come in and I check them in. Me, all right, I have some waivers for you to sign. D, how old are you? 16. Okay then, you don't need to sign a waiver. I ask this because if kids are younger than 18, their parents sign the waivers for them. But EP only heard me say the first part, not when I said D didn't need to sign a waiver. So she thought I was just asking her daughter how old she was. This was probably what started it all. We go on the tour, and while I'm giving my spiel, EP keeps interrupting me to tell me stuff about D and find if we're compatible. Me. And so this non-profit organization opened in... Are you in college? No, I'm a junior in high school. I'm usually pretty free with info about myself on tours because it helps keep people relaxed and initiates conversations during lulls in the tour. Plus it helps with tipping. Oh, D is also a junior. She's an artist. Stuff like this keeps happening throughout the tour, and every time D gets redder and redder. My mom does this too, where she just tells random mall attendants about me, so I know what D is going through and I feel her pain. At the end of the tour, I tell the two of them that they have 15 minutes to go around the town and then they can meet me back at the Segway place. I get back and start getting things set up for their return. They roll in, pardon the pun, and I take their Segways to start charging them. So what do you think of my daughter? Pardon me, what? I saw you checking her out during the tour. Are you gonna ask her out? Mom, stop. Me, ma'am, I just recently got out of a relationship and I'm not really looking for anything right now. What? Huh? Is my daughter not good enough for you? No, that's not it. I just said that I just got out of a relationship. You're going to date my daughter and that's final. You can't tell me what to do. I'm not your kid, and if I don't want to date your daughter, I do not have to. Besides, you haven't even asked her if she wants to date me. Yeah, I don't want to date him. See? I'm going to call your boss and tell him about your terrible customer service. You're never going to work in this city again. Me, pulling out my phone. All right, you want to call him and explain this situation? How you're trying to force me to date your daughter and get me fired for saying no? Then I guess the absurdity of the situation finally sunk in and her face transitioned from pure rage to slight confusion. Wait, maybe I don't want to. No, let's call him. Start to go through my contacts and press my boss's name. Let's have this conversation. I don't think that's a good idea. Phone starts ringing. D, let's go. EP runs out of the door. D turns to me and says, I'm sorry, and then follows her mom. I hang up the phone before my boss answers and start cleaning the Segways. I have some more stories from my work. Y'all tell me if you want to hear more. I love people that do this type of crap.
What a Karen.
Well, yeah. I hate to say it, but there's a level. There's levels to these things, like the level of entitlement, and I experienced it here at the most recent UCW show. I'm not joking when I say this. Like, everything I'm about to tell y'all, like 100% happened. I'm helping them set up like the DJ booth. I'm standing over by the ring, and I'm helping them set the DJ booth. All of a sudden, from the back door of this brewery, walk in a legion. I'm talking like 10 to 15 deep of drunk ass, like margarita mixer white women. I'm not joking. Imagine like every Karen that you've seen in a picture. There is an example of each one of them that is one of the 10 to 15 women here. So I'm standing there and I'm helping get the DJ booth set up. Then all of a sudden, they try and climb up and get in the ring. And I see this, and that's a big no-no, because insurance, like, the insurance alone is just like, nah, we're not allowed to have anyone in that ring who is not an officially registered, like, performer for that night. So, you have to sign a waiver in order to be in that ring. And we only give those waivers out to people who perform in the ring, not people who just want to go up and take a picture. So instead, I look at them like, whoa, no, y'all can't. And then all of a sudden, like, all like they're just like, oh, it's just one picture. We're just gonna get in here and take pictures. Come on, girls, let's get in here, let's take pictures. I'm like, no, we can't because of insurance. It's like, no one else is gonna know. Oh my gosh, like, why are you being like that? I'm like, look, ma'am, please, I'm sorry, I can't let you in the ring because of insurance, and if one of you just so happens to slip and get hurt, that reflects poorly on us. It reflects poorly on Highwire Brewery. We can't have you getting in the ring and this and that, and blah blah blah. And all of a sudden, I get called over to and I'm like, look, I'm sorry, and I get called over to the other side of the brewery. I think it was Chad. Chad was over there, and I go over there, and I'm like, good Lord, man. And it's just like, Chad's like, what's going on? And he's like, dude, these women just came in here with the PTA mom energy and just started hopping up onto the ring apron, trying to get in the ring, acting like they own the damn place, and I turn around, and lo and behold, they're trying to get back into the ring again.
Yep.
And I'm like, whoa, what are y'all doing? And it's like, it'll just be one picture, just one picture. And next thing you know, they're all standing in the ring. I'm like, guys, you got to get out of the ring. And they're telling me to shut the fuck up. I don't know what I'm talking. I'm like,
should
what
I
do
call
you?
the cops?
Well, I didn't want to pull that card out, but instead, I literally stood up on the apron. I'm like, y'all got to get out of the ring. We can't have this. And here I am trying to be nice. I'm trying to be cordial and this and that. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see someone bolt from the front gate all the way up to the ring and hop up on the apron in a flash. I look over, it's Marcus.
Oh,
Marcus
shit.
is just like, y'all got to get the fuck out the ring. And this is his company and his ring.
Yeah.
He's like, y'all got to get the fuck out the ring. He wasn't playing nice. Marcus was not being nice. Marcus was not afraid of any of the 4-dubs. He was just like, nah. He's like, y'all got to get out
I
of
bet
here.
the speed at which he can move scared the shit out of all of them.
Probably.
He's fast as fuck.
He's quick. He's quick as a cat. He hops up on that apron, and
Somebody was
and then he
recording
gets into the ring very slowly, goes in through the ropes. He's like, y'all got to get out. I'm sorry, y'all got to get the fuck out of my ring. And he's just like, one of y'all falls and gets hurt, that's on us, and we don't want to deal with that shit. All right, if y'all want to take a picture sitting on the apron, go right ahead, but y'all can't be in the ring. And then all of a sudden, they was like, I get why are you acting like this? It's just it's like my man over there told you y'all can't be in the ring. He was nice. I ain't being nice no more. Get out of the ring. And then all of them got out of the ring, and they all sat there pouting the rest of the show. And I was just like, yeah.
Surprised he didn't kick him out.
Well, he doesn't have the authority to kick them out of the building. That's Highwire staff.
Huh.
But he had anything in that ring is his authority, because that's his property.
Mm-hmm.
But Highwire, they also told us hey, if that ever happens again, come get one of us behind the bar, and we can literally threaten them with calling the police where this is our property and everything.
Yeah, trespassing.
So that's the whole. So yeah, that happened in Charlotte too. Although it was only 2 people that hopped in the ring and started doing dumb shit, started rolling in the ring, started trying to act like they were superstars and all that. A woman in heels too. A woman in heels in that freaking ring, trying to get in there and be like, and then throwing her boyfriend into the ropes and everything, and him rolling out of it. I was like, y'all stop, y'all got to get out of the ring. And there's a time to be nice, and then there's a time not to be nice. And Marcus he's that release switch whenever it's time to not be nice.
I bet all those Karens think that their children owe them.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're a young man. 17-year-old, technically speaking. You're not allowed to say no if someone expresses interest, which she didn't, by the way. God damn. Plot twist. OP and EP's daughter bond over the disgust of EP's behavior and start dating. No, just
No.
stop doing that. Yeah, I don't want to date him. Whoa, hold up. So, did the FBI get involved at all? Yeah, actually, they busted in the windows right after and threw flashbangs. Date my daughter, now! No. Wait, that's illegal. I'm not going to insult your intelligence. Proceeds to define the FBI. Yeah, that was just to get you guys really hooked. I was just waiting for the part where the FBI got involved. I'm not mad they didn't show up, just disappointed, I suppose. Daughter was 6 hours late to an interview. EM yells at me for making her cry. Hello everyone, long-time creeper on here. Never thought I'd run into an entitled mom, but here we are. So I'm 20, female. I'm a dog groomer.
Aww.
Been one for 4, almost 5 years.
cute.
The big thing is, dog grooming is reputation, quality, and time management.
Yeah,
Yesterday we were expecting a
husky
girl
or
to come and attend to try
Pomeranian?
out as a dog
Husker
groomer.
rating?
She was promising. 23 or 25
Maybe,
years
I
old,
don't know.
worked as a dog groomer
Oh,
at
look at
other
it.
places. She didn't show up till 4:30, no call, no nothing. She apparently had a hair appointment and friends from out of town came in, so they got their nails done. She asked if she could groom now. I said no, I don't think so. When she pressed, I said I might be a jerk for saying this, but we don't need or want you. There's no need to reschedule your tryout. I went back to get my last 2 dogs done. Apparently, she cried, and I was starting to feel bad. Now, EM time. Her mom came in this morning demanding we give her a second chance. I told her, your daughter was 6.5 hours late. That's not something that works in dog grooming. She replied, she was with friends. I think someone your age would understand that. Me, not when there's a job interview. She didn't call or anything. At this point, I was ticked and over it. I have 5 dogs to get done. She said, well, there was no reason to make her cry. I said, I disagree, and got back to work. Apparently, she stayed up there and demanded we give her another shot. As head dog groomer, I said, not gonna happen. She left eventually, saying her daughter was too good for us. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Her crying was not your fault. She's got to learn some responsibility at some point, like
Yeah.
you have clearly learned, so a lesson has to be taught at some point. Unfortunately, I see my nephew in this. He thinks he deserves more than just a job. My brother asked me to get him an interview at where I work. Paid $17 an hour and advancement opportunities.
Not
Kid
bad.
never showed up. Said it didn't pay enough, and he was worth more. I'll never stick my neck out for him again.
17 an hour is not bad. 17 an hour is not bad, especially around here. But, oh my gosh.
It's the entitlement, though.
Yeah, I see that. Look, if you're gonna go for a job, something that you want to make money at, and people are going to pay to train you and pay you an hourly rate to do stuff, you gotta show up. You have to.
Look, everybody's got to start somewhere for sure. 17 is not a bad starting point.
No.
If you're really young, you still get the chance to live at home and stuff like that. But we as a collective definitely should be earning more than that. No, it's not enough for the average person, I'd say. But for that kid, probably. Yeah, my mom would be so embarrassed if I was 6 hours late to an interview and complained about it. And I'm in my 30s. No way she'd defend my dumb ass.
True.
What a moron. And she was late because she got her hair and nails done? Car accident made her late? Sure. I might give her another chance. Hair and nails? She clearly can't be to take on the responsibility of a job. Oh, of course not. Funny, as a child from another time, my mother, upon hearing this, would have said to me, well, that's what happens when you don't take a job interview seriously. Next time, be on time. It's not even a generational thing there. That's just a normal person. My mom would have said the same thing to me if I was that stupid.
My mom
And
wouldn't
Tom's
have
mom
even
thinks
been
her-
that nice to me about it.
Yeah.
My mom would have been pissed.
Oh,
She'd been
yeah.
like, are you telling me you didn't go to a job interview because your friends were in town and you went to hang out with them instead? Like, yeah. She'd be like, how fucking stupid are you?
Also,
Like, they could have fucking waited until after your job interview. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder who paid for the nails and the hair. The mother.
Probably.
Her family's rules apply to everyone. I've been reading this sub for a while and never thought I'd have something to post, but here I am. Last week I was traveling for work. It had been a long 2 days of meetings and I was exhausted. I had just arrived at the airport from my evening cross-country flight home when I got the dreaded text from the airline saying my flight was delayed 2 hours due to mechanical problems. I decided to pass the time by getting something to eat. I found an airport restaurant and sat down to order. I ordered my food, pulled out the phone from my bag to catch up on emails and browse the web while waiting for my food to arrive. While I was waiting, a family with a mom, dad, and a little girl about 5 years old, and a middle school-aged looking boy sat at a table near me. I didn't pay them much attention as I was looking at emails on my phone. But then I hear the little girl exclaim in a rather loud voice, "Look, Mom, that lady's on her phone at the table." I then hear the mother reply, "Yes, she shouldn't be doing that. It is rude to have a phone at the table." I glance over and the mother says to me, "We have a rule that no phones are allowed at the table." My first reaction was to say something snarky as exhaustion was definitely getting to the better of me. But then I thought better of it and decided to be polite. I looked at the little girl and said, "We have the same rule in my family, but since I'm here alone, I'm not being rude to anyone by looking at my phone now." At this point, the son looks like he wants to crawl under the table from embarrassment, and the dad's just trying to hand the mom a menu, and she says, "It's okay, let's just order." I think that would be the end of it, but no! The mom says, "Obviously you have a family, so you know how important it is to follow rules. I'd appreciate it if you would put away your phone," in a tone that a parent would use on a petulant teen.
What the fuck? You cannot
At
tell.
that point, I would be like, "Oh, you know
another
what? I would
adult.
appreciate if you'd shut the fuck up."
Ma'am, I also have a rule too, at the
That you
dinner
mind
table.
your own fucking business.
It's whenever
Sorry.
whenever you see someone else doing something that is not in your family, you mind your damn business. I'm sorry, but I'm not part of your family. And if this is how your family is, I would pray to God I never was involved with your family. Because this is ridiculous. It's like, I don't know. People just have a sense of just, you are, me, and you do, you have to do what I say because I'm older than, it's like, no. It's like, unless I'm under you at a job, no. I don't have to listen to a damn thing you have to say.
The little girl chimes in and says, "Yeah, you have to put your phone away. My brother can't have his phone at the table, so you can't either." I look at the little girl and say in as sweet a tone as I can muster, "Well, the great thing about being a grown-up is that I can do whatever I want. So now I'm going to keep looking at my phone," and turn back to my email. The mother sighs loudly. The teen looks even more embarrassed, and the dad, again, tries to get the mom to just order and leave me alone. The mom calls the waiter over and asks to be reseated. He grudgingly moves them to a different table. My food arrives, and I eat in peace, enjoying browsing Reddit. Edit to add here. Thanks so much to the kind people. Well, of course, what a great story. I've had my kids say similar things while out and about, and I'm the one who doesn't want to start an interaction with someone at another table. So usually I'll say something like, "Different people do different things," or, "Well, they're an adult,
Yeah.
so they get to do things you can't," and try to avoid making eye contact with the person in question. Then there are times when someone's breaking more social rules, like when we've been waiting in line for something for a half an hour and the kids are frustrated and some jerk cuts toward the front, and the kids are like, "Look, that person just went right up, why can't we?" And of course they're kids, so they say it loudly enough where half the other people in line can hear and turn to look. In those cases, I'll say something more like, "Well, not everyone follows the rules, but we do. Just because someone else acts like a bad person doesn't mean that you should too."
Nice.
Got their ass. I
Yep.
remember there was a
Someone did that at Busch Gardens one time. Someone hopped in front of us at I forget what Corkscrew Hill, I think was the name of the ride. It was like the virtual theater that had the seats that moved and everything. A lot of fun. But someone tried to cut in front of us to get closer to the front. And I remember my dad just staring daggers at the guy, and the guy was trying to turn away from trying to inch forward and more forward. And then all of a sudden we get to the thing where it's just and the guy bolts in front of my dad, and my dad sticks his foot out and "Sorry, were you in line here?" And the guy's like, no, I was my friend was I'll just go to the back." And he goes back behind all of us, and it was a little kid. He was 19, 18, 19, little skinny guy. And my dad knew just this guy's just gonna try and shuffle in front of us and not expect us to notice or anything like that. But my dad's also the kind of guy. You ever seen those where you must merge in traffic? There's a lane that's closed up ahead, and you have to merge in, and you see those people that just keep running down.
Hate those
Yeah,
people.
you know what my dad does? My dad deliberately gets over into the lane where it merges and deliberately sits beside the same car that was behind him, and they just block traffic. They just my dad is that kind of person. My dad's that kind of
I
person.
try to do that too, but it doesn't always work in my favor.
Oh, yeah. Well, my dad. I guess it worked because we had a long haul trailer. We were hauling another truck back up from Texas.
Car.
Yeah, my dad was hauling a truck back up from Texas, and I remember he did that. I remembered he did that, and like there's so many cars behind him, like honking his horn, and my dad was just like, music to my ears, and just like, and as soon as it came to like merge and everything, my dad eventually did get over, but by that point it had like trapped a shit ton of the traffic, till they either had to get over or they would be trapped behind him while he tried to get over. It's just, again, I hate people that do that in traffic, and I think there needs to be, if cops wrote tickets to people who did that shit, I guarantee you there'd be a lot less people who did it. And that'd be an easy way for them to get tickets.
It would.
And plus, they'd be ticketing assholes. So, yeah, everyone wins.
Kid at my daycare who kept trying to tell us that his mom was the boss of us, and he cried when we told him she wasn't. I imagine that's who that little girl is. Well, the great thing about being a grown-up is that I can do whatever I want. Hell yeah, this is the type of line I come up with in the shower 2 weeks later. When I go out and eat alone, I take my phone and read. It helps to eat slower. I'm used to eating fast at work due to break times. I've had people interrupt my meal to comment about my phone and how they don't allow them at the dinner table. Okay, I just look at them and stare them down for a few seconds, and if they don't get the hint, the next time they interrupt me, wow, my response is at my table, we have a rule, mind your own damn business. Okay, wow, sorry, that was just...
You needed a comma right there. The next time they interrupt me, comma, my response is at my table, we have a rule, mind your own damn business.
Not written well. Apologies. The rule in my family is not to butt into things that don't concern you. Adults should know better. Just because you have kids doesn't mean you get to set rules for other people, okay? Go yourself, Karen. EM thinks I, the delivery driver, should tip her. On mobile, so if things go wonky, my attorney is accepting calls. After never dealing with an EP in my life, I have now had 2 in the span of a few months. Normally a foul mouth, but I'll keep things clear for r/and others. Wait a minute, excuse me? For who? No one's being that nice to us over here at MK. No one's censoring themselves for that. Anyway, so I am a delivery driver for major food delivery company in major college town in Texas where everyone loves maroon. Normally it's...
Texas A&M. Where's A&M again? College Station. I forget the name of the town that's in. Arlington? Before I make a fool of myself and a bunch of the freaking Aggies come after me. Texas A&M. College Station, Texas. There it is. Yeah, College Station, Texas, which is... Yeah, it's just its own town. College Station. 120,000 people, damn.
What's it near? Oh, northeast of Austin. Northwest of Houston. 87.
Oh, the Texas Triangle. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like... on the eastern edge of so it's northwest of Houston and northeast of, or east-northeast of Austin. Oh, so it's closer to Houston. It's closer to Houston than it is to Austin. Yeah, it's in that little triangle there where East Texas becomes West Texas.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
It's not bad, pays pretty well, and customers are generally fine. Though you'll always have idiots in every service job. This, however, surpassed anything I'd ever experienced before. I get an order alert on my phone. Relatively simple but expensive order. We drivers love expensive orders from a restaurant nearby. In the portion for delivery instructions, the customer explains that I need to call her once I arrive, as ringing the doorbell, as I normally do, would disturb her autistic son. Okay, no problem at all. I received therapy for sensory issues when I was a kid, so I'm going to be even more sympathetic to that than the average person. I receive the order and drive over to the house, nice part of town, and give the customer a call. Younger woman answers, tells me to come up to the door. I do so, and enter the EM, who strangely was fairly attractive and did not have the typical Karen haircut. That's how they get you. All right, EM is enraged marmalade here. Me equals the Muffin Man, and NSL is nice support lady. Me, here's your order, ma'am. Is there anything else I can help you with today? okay? Yes, my son's autistic, and people like you don't understand how difficult it is to raise him. I shouldn't have to pay this much for food. Can you give me a discount? Me, baffled. I'm sorry, ma'am, but the app calculates your order total, not me. It's already been paid for. The EM did not like this answer. Her face changed from a smug smirk into a snarl. I suppose I didn't realize how ridiculous the idea that people pay for their own food is. Well, why don't you pay for it then? I'm not sure if you heard, but there's no way she said it again. But my son is autistic, and it's your fault that he's still hungry. Sorry, ma'am, but that goes against our policy. If I paid for your order, I'd get fired. Good. You're a useless driver anyway. You're disgusting. My son is starving to death. All right. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. Hang on. What? Pause. Time out. You can blame the driver all you want, but you know deep down that if your autistic son is actually starving,
then why are you still standing here yelling at the driver?
Yeah.
Why are you still standing here yelling at the driver who delivered your shit? When you could be in there, I don't know,
like,
feeding your starving son to death.
Give him the food, dumbass.
That's
should
100
tip me.
100% completely your fault, right? Like, you know that that's completely your fault, honey, okay? So don't go blaming random people you've never met before in your life. And also, don't go demanding any delivery drivers. They give you a discount. Are you high? Are you actually up right now?
Yes. Yes, she is. I was going to say, I guarantee you, like, the Karen who did this is reading this on here. She's watching this video, and she's like, are you coked up? She's like, yes, I am. And he owes me money.
She went to therapy one time, and she's been on the same cocktail of pills for the past 20 years, and it just ain't fucking working anymore. But nobody's brave enough to tell her that.
How stupid could you be? Actually, no. She's not stupid. She's willfully evil in her own right. My app has a setting that while you're in the process of taking an order to a customer, they'll assign you another one at the same time if there's activity. Thankfully, that saved me here. Can't do that, ma'am. Here's your order. I dropped the food gently on the ground between us and jogged back to my car. She was shouting something unintelligible, so much for not disturbing her autistic son. Well, she's probably lying and there is no kid there, who knows? Yeah. But I couldn't make out what she was saying. Unsurprisingly, she gave me a 1-star review. You tip online, so I got a small tip. I contacted support about it the next day. Yeah, I had a crazy lady yesterday. Started demanding that I pay for her order and even that I tip her. Really rude. Not sure what the deal was. Oh, I knew what the deal was. That's why I'm here. Which order was it? It was this one at this one. You're the third person to complain about that one. 1 or 2 we take with a grain of salt, but 3, you're probably out. I'll try to get her deactivated. If so, her review will be off your record. Thank you. Appreciate it. I feel like the entire world is better off now that she won't get deliveries from us anymore. But was the cost worth it? That remains to be seen. I'm sure she'll realize really fast that it was not worth being such a douchebag. Now, she does not get to use the app anymore at all. Whoa! Should have paid for her kid's food. He's handicapped. Also pay for his schooling and his first date and wedding. Sheesh, you're so cheap. If she was obviously a student or former student, you should have hit her with, sorry ma'am, can't do that because an Aggie does not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do. And am I reading that right? An Aggie is...
Yes.
That right? It's your fault he's hungry. When she realizes that you've been sneaking into her son's room every night and pumping his stomach. Anyone else notice that she basically used her son's handicap to her benefit? That's called bad parenting, if you ask me. Yeah. That's not all that's bad parenting here. There's a lot more going on. She is just a bad parent. When he said the EM was surprisingly attractive, I thought to myself, such beauty wasted.
Oh, boy. Well, there you go. So those are some entitled parents, all right. I'll leave a like on that. So, yeah, I'm glad my parents weren't like that. I'm very glad my parents weren't like that, and just, because I would be secondhand embarrassed over that. I'd be like, oh god, I don't want to be here right now. It's like, Mom.
My mom realized that I was allergic to peanut butter. She immediately switched up what she was giving me for lunch all the time, so at least she understood that.
Hey, good on your mom then, dude.
So if I ate too much peanut butter, I would throw up as well. It was awful.
Yeah. Let's see. I never really had any food allergies that bad growing up, like except for the onions, just making me gassy and everything. But
the milk for me.
Oh, yeah.
like regular dairy. But as far as an allergy goes, I've never been diagnosed. So
Okay.
I can't say that
So,
it's an allergy.
I was going to say, is it
just
just
know it makes
lactose,
me
or is it...
yeah, I
Uh,
guess.
I was going to say, yeah, that lactose-free milk, I've tried it, you know, the lactate.
I've tried it, but I like almond milk better.
Well,
So
I guess that's just
it's like
how
a
it is.
taste preference, I guess.
No, that's fair. That's more than fair. Me, I don't know. I've never had, like, I've tried almond milk. I've tried various types of milk. I'm just still used to whole milk. That's just me, though.
I still eat ice cream with regular milk, but it tastes good, but tears my stomach up.
Oh, man. Sorry. Well, either way, I think that's going to do it. So until next time, everybody. Do y'all have an entitled parent story to tell us? Feel free to let us know in the comments below. But for right now, that's going to do it. Until then, I'm Nate.
I'm Kate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people.
Oh, and that was Vega.
Oh, yeah.
He's still sitting here staring.
Yeah. He's been booping him on the nose, like, boop. Yeah. So, we'll see you in the next one, everybody. Peace.